You know that feeling like you're steering a giant ship through a massive storm with no map, no compass, and no clear destination in sight? That's what leadership feels like for so many of us these days. But what if I told you there's a way to not just survive the storm, but to actually harness its power? Okay, let's dive in.
So let's just pause and ask a really honest question here. Are we truly ready for what's coming next? I'm talking about the economic curveballs, the tech that changes everything overnight, the wild shifts in what our customers want. This isn't some far-off hypothetical question anymore. It's the challenge for every single leader right here, right now.
This quote just hits home, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of being on the deck, hands gripping the wheel, trying to navigate through a storm that just seems to have no end. The waves of change are absolutely relentless, and sometimes that horizon is just a blur.
And that feeling, it's not just a nice metaphor. There's actually a name for this crazy environment we're all trying to operate in. Let's call it what it is, the unpredictable business storm. Yep, this storm has a name. It's VUCA. It's an acronym that stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And look, it might sound like jargon, but it's a really useful way to make sense of the chaos. It helps us realize we're not just facing random problems. We're dealing with a very specific set of challenges that are all tangled together. And this is what VUCA actually looks like in the real world, right? Markets that you thought were rock solid can practically vanish. A new piece of tech comes along and makes your entire business model look ancient. Your customers wake up one day and want something completely different. And then, of course, some big global event happens, and the shockwaves hit your operations without any warning. This is our new normal. Now, in a storm like this, the first instinct for many is to just drop anchor and wait for it all to pass. But here's the thing. In today's world, standing still is probably the most dangerous thing you can do. The real risk isn't making the wrong move. It's not moving at all. So here's the bottom line. The old playbook, it's broken. The strategies that built amazing companies 10 or even just 5 years ago, they just don't pack the same punch anymore. Relying on them now is like trying to use a tattered old pirate map to navigate a modern shipping lane. It's just not gonna work. This really leaves us with a pretty clear choice. We can stick with the old way, constantly putting out fires, reacting to one crisis after another, just trying to keep our heads above water. Or we can adopt a new mindset, one that sees this storm not just as a threat to be survived, but as a real opportunity to innovate, to adapt, and to come out stronger on the other side. And transformation really is the key word here. It's not about finding some safe harbor to hide in until the weather clears. It's about learning how to build a faster, stronger, more resilient ship. So how on earth do you do that? Well, let's look at a path forward.
So, how do we build this better ship? Well, one of the most powerful ways is through focused programs like strategic thinking for leaders. These are designed specifically to give leaders the tools and the mindset they need to navigate this VUCA world with real confidence.
This quote right here, it perfectly captures the whole philosophy. It completely reframes the mission. Uncertainty stops being this scary thing you have to endure, and instead, it becomes the raw material you use to build something new, something better, something stronger.
Okay, so what does this transformation actually look like in practice? Let's get down to brass tacks and talk about the actual tools and skills you need to build. This isn't about some abstract, high-level theory. It's about forging a practical, hands-on strategic toolkit.
A really focused approach, like the 2-day program outlined here, often starts by rewiring how you lead, really digging into strategic communication and understanding how our brains make decisions under pressure. And then you move on to building the future, crafting a vision that's crystal clear and a strategy that's totally plugged into what the market actually wants and needs. And at the very heart of this kind of training are these core thinking skills. Conversational thinking helps you get everyone on the same page. Imaginative thinking lets you see possibilities where everyone else just sees roadblocks. And when you start blending all 5 of these together, you build this incredibly powerful, adaptable mind that can thrive no matter what gets thrown at it. So, what's the big payoff? What's the end result of developing all of these new skills? I can tell you, it's about so much more than just a new strategy document gathering dust on a shelf. It's a fundamental shift in how you see the world and your role in shaping what comes next. So what does this all add up to? Well, it means you'll have the tools not just to survive a tough economy, but to actually thrive in one.
It means you'll walk away with the clarity to create a bold new vision, the smarts to pick it apart and make it stronger, and the confidence to actually go out and make it happen. Ultimately, this is what it's all about. The goal is to transform your thinking from being reactive to being proactive, to seriously strengthen your real-world skills, and to empower you to stand at the helm and lead with genuine confidence, no matter how big the waves get. And that brings us right back to the question we started with. The storm isn't going away. The future is always going to be a bit of a mystery. The only thing we can actually control is how we prepare ourselves for it. So the real question is, are you ready to lead?